Hi everyone, welcome to the 2017 Commissioners Playoff Report. I'm Tony Pugh, Commissioner of the CLYC Fantasy Football League, and I'll be your host tonight as we recap the 2017 season and look ahead at the playoffs. I want to start out by congratulating each of the 4 teams that made the playoffs this year. Yes, even you, Dow. Now these aren't just the 4 best teams in the league because of their record. According to the metric I use, these are the 4 best teams in the league based on performance. So it's a good thing that all 4 of them made it into the playoffs. So let's just jump right into it and show the playoff bracket for this season.
Let's start off by looking at the bracket everyone cares about, the championship bracket. The number 1 seed this year is 2-Pint Conversion, leading the league in record and points scored this season. He will play number 4, the Drunken Kangaroos, who worked their way back from a 2-4 start to the season to win the Southwestern Division. They are the number 4 seed thanks to the new rule voted in over the offseason to reseed the playoff teams based on record, not division wins or wildcard. The other team that this affected is the number 3 seed, Brady Gaga, who will be taking on number 2 seed and defending champion Dix Out for Dow. Brady Gaga was the wild card this year, but slots in as the number 3 seed since he had a better record than the Drunken Kangaroos. As we scroll down, we get to see the teams that just missed out on the playoffs this year and slot themselves into the best of the rest bracket. Number 5, Bend the Knee Bitches, who lost out in the final week of the regular season to the Drunken Kangaroos in a winner advances scenario, will take on number 8, Gape City Ballbusters, who narrowly avoided falling into the blue ball bracket. Hammond avoided the blue ball bracket by finishing with a record of 6-8, despite having the fewest points scored in the league by quite a margin. Just goes to show how much being in a super shitty division really helped him. The other bracket contains some teams that were strong all season but just couldn't muster enough to get into the championship bracket. Number 6, High Five Old School, helped set a new record for best record to start the season after starting 6-0 before eventually dropping 6 of the next 8 games, finishing at 8-6. He will be matched up against Admiral Dakbar, whose team scored the 4th most points in the league this year, but it wasn't enough to advance as he finished 7-7. Now we will take a look at the blue ball bracket for the 2017 season, a matchup between 2 former champions. Number 9, Sia in the finals will take on number 12, Herbville Whalers. Sia in the finals started out the season at 1-6 before making a mid-season adjustments that saw his team average 31 points more in the second half of the season than the first half. The Herbville Whalers' dreadful losing streak was brought to an end in the final week of the season when he got his first and only win. This 13-game losing streak is the most in league history in a single season, and his final record of 1-13 ties Whipper for worst record ever in a season. In the other matchup, we see the number 10, Car Ramrod, take on number 11, Room to Improve. Room to Improve made sure not to overachieve this season, still leaving plenty of room to improve. After starting the season 3-4, they lost the next 6 games straight before capping off the season with a win over his brother. The interesting thing about the 2 teams in this matchup is that they basically scored the same number of points this season. Car Ramrod scored only 2 more points than Room to Improve this season, so it should be an interesting matchup. Well, that does it for the bracket explanation. I'd like to remind all the teams that didn't make the playoffs that there's still money on the line. Each win that you get in the playoffs earns you $5. So, if you want your money, you've got to earn it.
So let's move on to the championship matchup analysis. We will review each matchup and the stats from this season for each championship competitor. All 4 championship contenders will be joining us tonight during this show to talk about their season and the upcoming playoffs.
So let's take a look at the first matchup. Number 1 seed 2-Pint Conversion takes on the number 4 seed, the Drunken Kangaroos. Right away you'll notice immediate disparity between these 2 teams. Jack is a heavy favorite coming in with all the accolades this season. He broke the record for best record ever in the history of the CLYC Fantasy Football League, and he broke the record for the most points ever scored in a single season. Warren finished strong with a 9-5 record after starting the season 2-4, but only scored the 6th most points in the league this year. Jack is number 1 in the power rankings and has been there for 10 weeks straight. Warren is 4th in the power rankings, which is the highest he's been all season. Well, I'm sure he's been higher, but we're talking about fantasy football here, not the devil's lettuce. Jack has scored over 175 points 9 times this season and has 0 games scoring less than 140. Meanwhile, Warren has only topped 175 4 times and has 5 games scoring less than 125 points. Jack's season low score of 143 points would have beaten Warren 6 times this season. Jack has been the most consistent team in the league this season and comes into the playoffs with the highest average score over the last 4 games. Warren has won against 2 of the 3 playoff teams this season, including Jack. But if we look at head-to-head matchups on a weekly basis, Jack would have won against Warren 11 out of the 14 weeks. The schedule just happened to work out that they were matched up on one of those 3 weeks. If we look at the trend of the last 5 games, there appears to be a little consistency and a bit of a pattern. In the last 5 weeks, Jack has outscored Warren by 28 points, 26 points, 21 points, 22 points, and 21 points. So Jack has consistently outscored Warren by 20 to 30 points in each week over the last 5 weeks.
ESPN projects the outcome of this game to be won by Jack, 166.3 to 156.9. So Jack is a 9-point favorite. Another thing that will make this game a little more interesting is I think this game may have a little bit of a rivalry undertone to it, given the way the season started this year. If you all remember, there was a heated conversation between these two when it came to the vote on if we should make this a guys-only league or not. I believe there may still be some harbored feelings there, so that just makes this matchup even juicier. So stay tuned. But now we will welcome these 2 playoff contenders into the studio for a quick interview. So let's start out by introducing our number 1 seed and the favorite this year, team owner and general manager. Dude, what are you doing?
Hey there, Mr. Commissioner. How's it going? Just here for my annual interview for the playoffs.
Dude, you didn't make the playoffs.
Of course I made the playoffs. I always make the playoffs. 4 years in a row, baby, and this year makes 5.
Dude, seriously, you're not in the playoffs. You were eliminated like 2 weeks ago. Hell, you didn't even make the best of the rest bracket. You're in the fucking blue balls.
What? There's gotta be some sort of mistake. I mean, my team name is see you in the finals. I don't think I'd just name my team that and not make the playoffs.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have drafted J.J., Isaiah Crowell, Jameson Crowder, and Brandon Marshall with 4 of your first 5 picks, you stupid bitch. Because you sucked.
But
Man, get the fuck out of here. This show's for winners. Security! Sorry about that, guys. Now, as I was saying, let's welcome our first guest of the evening, making his first appearance in the playoffs and doing it in style. The number 1 seed of the 2017 season, team owner and general manager of 2 Pint Conversion, Jack Hutchinson. Hey Jack, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? It's the owner of 2 Pint Conversion here. It's been a hell of a season. I'd like to thank myself for managing the team really well and just keeping everyone focused on making it in the playoffs. A little bit of credit goes to the players, kind of helping out a little bit, getting me to where I am now, so got to give them a quick shout out. Thanks to anyone who joined in the football Sunday celebrations at my house. It's a good little tradition. Hopefully we can continue that one on. And I look forward to having the trophy at my house for a couple of months, regardless of whether or not I win.
Well, Jack, talk about your incredible record-setting season this year.
Proud to say that I'm going into the playoffs at 11-3. Only other person to do that is Dow. And I'm also proud to say that I'm also put up the most points for the season and was able to snag number 1 seed. Neither of which Dow can also say. I started growing out the playoff beard earlier this week. Coming in pretty nicely. Should be pretty full by end of Monday's game.
What about your division? You were in a pretty tough division this year, and you still managed to come out as the number 1 seed.
Yeah, Michigan division was actually pretty competitive this year, unlike Chicago's, where you losers were basically just handed Chris a playoff spot. So, yeah, good job on doing that. I was worried about Al in the beginning, but we all know how that turned out. And Davis, you played well, buddy. Good job. Way to represent our division, making it to the playoffs.
How about the other playoff contenders and anybody else in the league?
Good job to Rivard, able to get 1 win. That's big. Proud of you, buddy. Got a kick out of watching Tony's team struggle. Did a nice little run there at the end, though, so good job, Commish. As for the other 2 guys who made it, Warren, Dow, good job. Looks like it'll be a good matchup for everyone. Looking forward to getting some revenge on you, Warren. You and your stupid drunken kangaroos were able to beat me in week 9, but that's not happening again. Best of luck out, though. Best of luck. And, break a leg. But actually. If and when I beat Warren, I'm excited for the real competition, which I've been looking forward to for the last couple of weeks. I think all of us know it's been coming. Should be a good game between Dow and I in the final, so definitely looking forward to that. As for everyone else, good luck, and try not to get blue balled. Two-pint conversion out.
All right, Jack. Well, thank you for joining us, and best of luck to you. Now we will talk to the man trying to take down the top guy in the first round, Warren Black, joining us all the way from Thailand. What's up, Warren? How's it going? Talk to us a little bit about your season.
All right, boys, look at this. Who would have thunk that I would have been here right now? Top of my division, feeling really good about it. You know, my name's Warren Black, owner, manager, president, coach, sometimes player, interviewee extraordinaire. You guys already know. So, you know, season started off really slow for me. Obviously, I had an auto draft. Basically repicked my whole team after that, kept you know, the core, you know, Russell Wilson, Thomas, you know, Tony tried to steal it from me tried to trade for him about like 10 times, couldn't let him go. Doug Baldwin also great all year. And then, well, I think that was like the only 4 or 5 maybe players I had consistently, or had throughout my league, you know, or my team. The rest had to pick up off waiver wire.
What about your division? Talk about your division rivals.
My division, very good. Kind of. Aaron Will sucks. Obviously, like, coming out trash talking, saying that it's the worst team in the league. Now look who's the worst team in the league, you motherfucker. Not me. Maybe it's Tony. Probably Tony, but, you know. Aaron, you're down there as well. How does it feel thinking that you were going to win, then lost like a little fucking bitch? Twice. Boom. You know, Tom, hats off to you. Great time. It's always fun playing, you know. Same with Scott. You guys both beat me twice, or beat me once this year. I was happy I could come back and get another W off of you after the season when it really mattered for me. Again, Aaron, fuck you suck.
Jesus, Warren, are you doing your interview in the middle of the street? Couldn't really tell what you said there, but let's move on. How did your team make it to the playoffs this year?
Path to the playoffs was, you know, probably not the easiest for me. Started out, I think it was 1-3, or 1-2, 1-3. Had a losing record up until I think I was 5-5 or something like that. Lost a game, and I went on 2 3-game win streaks, which was perfect for me. Really needed it. You know, losing to Hammond really, you know, put a dent. Could have, you know, clinched playoffs earlier if I won, but, you know, I'm happy I beat my division again. Had some redemption. You know, I think I would have made it to the playoffs if I didn't play the waiver wire. I think that was the most crucial thing for me. I think that was really important that I picked up main guys, you know, Hunter Henry, Josh Gordon, played phenomenal past 2 weeks. You know, picking up Marshawn Lynch, starting to play a little well.
Now, Warren, you started off the season pretty awfully at 2-4. How did you keep your spirits up in order to come back and make the playoffs? Did you lose confidence at any point?
I don't know. I feel like We really had a chance coming down to the last 6 games or so. You know what? Hold it off, baby. Scoring points, taking names, snapping necks, fucking bitches. Let's go.
So you beat Aaron in the final week of the season in an exciting winner-go-home matchup. Talk about that a little.
My opponent this week, Aaron, I already knew I was going to beat you before, last week, so, I wasn't too shocked when I saw the score. I was pretty happy with it, Again, you talk trash, and look who wins the division. I don't even think we've been in the playoffs the whole time I've been involved in this league. I think you just retire now probably would be the best idea. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sorry, but I don't think this fantasy football is really cut out for you.
You play Jack this week. Do you have a message for him?
To the person I play next week, though, I'm just happy to be here. I think I get some money for winning my division, but I'm not scared. I'll still probably beat you. I'm gonna win the championship this year. It's almost guaranteed. The drunken kangaroos are fucking here to stay. Unlike Tony's team that, see you in the finals, ended up in the blue ball bracket. Sounds about right. Happy to be in the playoffs again. Last year was a downfall for me, having a losing record, tying a game. I don't even know how it's possible, but, I tied. Now it's win or go home again. I'm used to it. All these other guys that have been in the playoffs clinched it. Probably are thinking I'm just no big deal. Just steamroll me. But you can ask Jack what happened when you played, right?
Talk about the other playoff contenders. Do you have anything to say about them?
Chris, Dow, coming for you. My dick was out for you last year. My dick was out for Jack this year, but now I'm here, baby. My dick's out for me. Let's go.
Anyone else you want to send a message to?
Thanks, Tony, for playing awful and always having excuses about why your team lost every week, and that was great. Aaron, again, can't let this go, but you're trash. Probably just quit now. See, Rivard, I think you won this the last week of the season. Hats off to you. Finally get a win or something. Maybe we can get you a blue ball, blueberry nothing out of that. Scott, better luck next year, bud. Hopefully you're not in the blue ball bracket, but I think you are for the 3rd year in a row. That's real tough. Tom, sorry, but as we said, anyone but Aaron. So if it wasn't going to be me, I was hoping it was going to be you. Now it's me. Couldn't be happier, honestly. Let's see. Jack, coming for you. Dow, coming for you. John, baby, 3-ball Davis, coming for you. Franca, you should just probably do what Aaron does and just retire from fantasy. I don't think you've had a winning season since I've been here. Al Hammond, great job. I hope you still don't hate me.
All right. Well, any closing statements?
Fuck you guys. I'm winning it all. Drunken Kangaroos. Out of Thailand right now. Look at this. Worldwide. Call me Mr. Worldwide because I'm the fucking worldwide champion. Anyway, let's go. Boom, bitch. Let's go. Tony, thanks for, the write-ups, even though some of them have been could have done better, but oh well. See ya.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Warren. We really appreciate it.
The next matchup we will look into is the matchup between the number 2 seed and defending champion Dix Out for Dow and the number 3 seed Brady Gaga. Dow returns to the playoff scene for the 3rd consecutive year as the number 2 seed and had an even stronger season than last year, helping to break and set the league record for best record ever in a season. He scored the 2nd most points this year on his way to his 3rd division championship. John makes his first ever appearance in the CLYC Fantasy Football League playoffs by winning the wild card this year. He finished the regular season with a 10-4 record and scored the 3rd most points in the league. These two teams are actually very closely matched up, so this should be a good game to pay attention to. So let's analyze what makes this matchup so good. Dow scored the second most points in the league, while John scored the third most. Dow is now second in the power rankings, and John is third. Coming into this game, Dow's last 4-game average is 183.2, while John's is 182.4. That's only 0.8 points difference. That's not much at all. They both have scored over 160 points 8 times this season. The biggest disparity is John's low-level performance, where he has 4 games scoring less than 140 points as opposed to Dow's 1. Those are the second and third best marks for that stat. However, John's low score includes the second lowest score of any team this season, but it was in week 3, and 3 of those 4 games came within the first half of the season. Despite his slow start to the season, starting out 1-3, John has actually been the winningest team in the league since week 5, winning 9 of the last 10 games. John's slow start was turned around for the second half of the season, where he averaged 17.7 points more per game in the second half of the season than he did in the first. Dow's story is a bit of the opposite. Dow started the season strong, setting a league record for best record to start the season at 6-0. Since the first half of the season, he has averaged 3.1 points fewer per game than the second half, which isn't much, but it didn't seem to matter since Dow had the easiest schedule of any team in the league by a significant mark, as well as the easiest division in the league, allowing him to easily go 5-1 in his division. On the opposite side of that, John had the toughest division in the league, but still managed to go 4-2 in his division. However, John has actually lost to all 3 playoff teams this year. Will he fall short again? If we look at the head-to-head matchup between these two teams, they each would have won 7 games. There's no trend here, so it makes it even harder to predict who will win, especially with all those other statistics we have discussed.
This could be the best matchup we see all season. Given how closely the teams are matched up, this should be a nail-biter. Even ESPN thinks so, as their official game line projection has Dow winning by only half a point. Dow is projected to win 164.1 to 163.6. And that is despite John losing his quarterback last week for the rest of the season. Carson Wentz was the number 2 fantasy quarterback in the league, so that will definitely hurt John's team. However, it won't be by as much as you'd think, as he's pulling his backup quarterback off the bench. Who's his backup quarterback, you ask? None other than Drew Brees. That's a pretty damn good backup quarterback to be sitting on all year. And with a plus matchup this week against the 28th ranked team against the pass, might even work in his favor. So now we'll bring in these two competitors as they gear up for their matchup this week. We'll start by welcoming the defending champion and number 2 seed this year to the studio, Chris Dow. Chris, welcome.
Well, we're back again for our annual trip to the playoffs. This is General Manager of Dick Salford Dow, the number 2 seed in this year's playoffs. So I looked back at last year's video. This is my 3rd season in the league. I finished 2nd in the regular season, 1st in the regular season, and 2nd again in the regular season. Tied for 1st in record, lost out to Jack in points. I did want to give a shout out to Jack for having an amazing season. Him and I have now set the record for best win-loss record in a regular season. So I'm very proud of that, and I'm proud for Jack too, who just pipped me in points by about 100 points, which is very impressive, considering I'm the reigning champion. Although I always forget, I'm probably one of the worst players in the fantasy league according to the power rankings, and we all know how important that is. So it's really nice that I can overcome being so bad at fantasy football to finish 2nd, 1st, 2nd, and win a championship. I'm really impressed with my team for being able to do that, for being able to know how bad we are at fantasy football and yet consistently win the way we do. It's been remarkable, and I've really come to appreciate that about my team.
Chris, talk about your team and your season this year.
One of the things about my season that I was really impressed about was that, we did it with a lot of unknowns, a lot of knowns, and a lot of unknowns. Some guys stepped in. Some guys had big starts to their rookie careers, or with rookie years for their careers. Guys like Christian McCaffrey, thank you for being a PPR league. Christian McCaffrey thanks you too, because he's a terrible running back, but a great receiving running back. Kareem Hunt, I want to thank for a great start and then disappearing. Although I do appreciate that Kareem Hunt learned from being benched. I benched him last week. I had some words with him. You got to do that with a rookie sometimes. You got to take him under your wing, just talk to him. You got to tell him, look, this is the way it is. You're sitting on the bench. You're not performing. You come back stronger, and he did. I like to see that. He didn't just go out and party and do a bunch of blow and buy a bunch of hookers and waste his talent. So I'm glad to see him back in the fold. We'll see. We've got a lot of good running backs. Rex Burkhead, Kenyon Drake, Kareem Hunt, Christian McCaffrey. So it'll be interesting to see who I start in the playoffs this week.
What about the other playoff contenders? Talk about them for a little bit.
Speaking of who I'm playing in the playoffs, I want to thank Warren for coming up big last week. He achieved my number one goal for the season every year, which is to not have Aaron Wills win. So that's been accomplished because he's not even in the playoffs. So that's great. Thank you, Warren. I appreciate that. I believe I actually have sort of had a bit of luck by playing Warren, all due respect to Warren, because I think John Davis is a stronger team on the whole. It wasn't auto-drafted like Warren's team, so it's not really Warren's fault, but, well, it is because he auto-drafted, but I appreciate the opportunity to face Warren in the playoffs. I'm excited. I think the overall thing we need to learn here is, or what we've learned from fantasy football every year is that the regular season is a matter of skill. Your drafting, your waiver wire moves, if you're Tony, stupid trades, that's where we find out who's actually good at this, who has a good season. The playoffs become a crapshoot. And, thankfully there are only 4 teams that can win it. So we eliminate some nonsense that way. I've been in leagues where we have 6 teams in the playoffs, and you can have a lot of random things happen that way. So I'm glad we only have 4 teams, so at least it's 4 teams that deserve it. I do believe that this year. I believe all 4 of these teams deserve a chance to win this title, especially Jack. Definitely most afraid of Jack's team. It's a very, very strong team with some scary weapons on it.
Chris, anything you'd like to add before you go?
I really want to say that I just appreciate all the work that Tony puts into this league as a commissioner and all the whining he does as a player. Tony the commissioner is outstanding, minus the whole power rankings debacle. And Tony the player is quite the whiner. And so I'd like to thank Tony the player for giving me plenty of ammunition to mock on the group chat. And I'd like to thank Tony the commissioner for running an absolutely fantastic league, with the exception of the fact that he did not have the trophy ready for me this year.
Well, you can thank Aaron for that, since he's the one who broke it. But it's been fixed for months now, and you know where it is, so you can go pick it up. It's only a quick red line trip away.
I will, at some point, probably go get the trophy from Franca's, but we'll see. At this point, it seems like it's good luck not to have the trophy. Maybe I'll win it again, and then I'll claim it. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm in it for the glory, not really in it for the trophy, for the good of the game, and that's really the most important thing. I want everyone to respect the game of football, the way Rob Gronkowski does, and so many other players. Just respect the game of football, stand for the flag, and really play your hearts out there this week and next week. As for Blue Balls, I hope a team called See You in the Finals ends up there. All right, best wishes, good luck, no injuries. Let's hope this is decided by good play, not by injuries or anything else. Best of luck to everyone in the playoffs. Thanks. Bye.
All right, Chris, well, thanks for taking the time to talk with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Now we'll move on to the guy he will be facing this week, making his playoff debut. Calling in from the car wash is my homie, John, 3-Ball Baby Davis. Yo, John, what up?
Man, all right, here we go. I'm coming to you live, northern Michigan. It's cold. It's snowing. I'm waiting for this car wash. But you know what? We made it to the playoffs, baby. Yep, made it to the playoffs. But you know, our division, it was hot. It was stacked this year. We got Jack, 2-pint conversion coming up. I'm in the wild card. You know, we made it. Brady Gaga's all in it. But you know what? We're going to come with our blonde wigs, and we're going to dance all over your bitch ass. Right in your mouth. Yeah. What's up? Anyway, I bet a lot of y'all wish I would have made some bunk-ass trades. But you know what? That don't happen. We don't want to get rid of our players. They're the core. They're the core of our team. That's why we're here. Bend the knee, bitches. I'm gonna bend you over my knee. Shit. Fucking see you in the finals. Yeah, that worked. Man, and like I said last year, who are these dicks out for Dow? Is there just like individual dicks in a line? He's got to like jack them all off? Are they in a bag? You know what I mean? Like a bag of dicks out for Dow? Anyway. Yeah, we're coming for y'all. You know, we're going to make it happen. And it's going to be good night, lights out, bitch. Thank you.
That was one hell of an interview. Damn. Well, that pretty much wraps things up for us here tonight. We've analyzed the matchups, we've heard from the competitors, now it's time for them to battle it out. Over the 4 years of the CLYC Fantasy Football League, we've had 4 champions with nobody able to repeat. Will that continue? Will we see a 5th champion crowned? Or will we have our first repeat champion ever as the defending champ looks to go back-to-back? Tune in this week and next week to find out. But for now, that's all we have for tonight. So thank you for joining us, and good luck in the playoffs.
All right, boys. So the Herbville Whalers, obviously, we fucking suck. We're awful. On paper, I think, we might be an all right team. Thought maybe, after the draft we'd take a run for the trophy here. But we're just shitty, and we keep fucking losing. And I'm going to fucking lose again this week. I'm going to be 0-6. Or no, 0-7. So,
We believe in you, Ramard!
We just suck, but
You can do it!
we're just drinking heavily, and hopefully we'll pull it together at the end of the year here and just avoid a total collapse. But yeah, I don't know. There's really not much to say.